Back in the day, I used to miss all the signals. In fact, one time a girl actually told me that she wasn't wearing any underwear, and I still didn't make a move on her. Now, that's kind of a more obvious signal, but there's also some much less obvious signals that you need to look out for. My name is Matt Artisan from The Attractive Man, and these are 10 signs that a woman wants to go home with you.
I'm Matt. He has mastered the art of seduction.
Many boot camps encourage men to be assertive.
A woman wants to be turned on. We've done all the testing, and we know what works. Now I'm going to start the countdown from signs that are a little more obvious, yet a lot of guys still miss them, but they don't necessarily mean she's ready to go home with you right then and there, and work my way down to signs that are less obvious, but are pretty clear indicators that she's ready to go home with you pretty soon. Number 10, she's receptive to your touch. Now, generally speaking, you're going to start small and work your way up. So just because you shake her hands or touch her elbow, it doesn't mean she wants to go home with you. But as the interaction progresses and you start escalating the touch more and more, starting with very platonic, casual touching, and you're working your way up to more intimate touching, that's a pretty good indicator that she's receptive to more and more, and you might be able to take her home at the end of the night. Now, I'm not going to talk about the different ways of touching because I have a whole video that talks about the 7 different ways of touching and how to increase the physical intimacy in a way that makes her feel comfortable, and there's a link to that video down in the description. Number 9, she touches you first and is constantly getting close to you. One time I was talking to 3 girls, and one of the girls actually spilled her drink on my crotch, and she began to wipe it off. She actually crouched down and started wiping. So I took that as a pretty good indicator. Other indicators would be she's standing closer to you than most girls or most people. She's like maybe this close versus arm's distance away, which creates a lot of tension. By the way, do not break that tension. In fact, amp up the tension. You might even want to kiss her if, she's standing that close to you. Or just escalate things further. Maybe kiss her on the cheek or kiss her on the neck to see how she reacts. But let her break the tension first. A lot of guys have trouble with this. When a girl tests them to see how he'll handle that tense moment, a lot of times they back away. They can't handle it. And sometimes women will even do this during the daytime, and then it's definitely game on. But just notice, is she touching you a lot? More than most girls. Is she sitting close to you and her legs are touching your legs? When you're walking, is she grabbing your arm and going arm in arm? Or you hold her hand crossing the street, and instead of pulling away when you get to the other side, you keep holding her hand and she's totally comfortable with that. And by the way, if a girl is comfortable holding hands with you like this, in this locked position, that is a pretty clear indicator that you can kiss her. Or try dancing with her, and if she's dancing really sexual and grinding up against you, then she's definitely comfortable with that type of physical intimacy. And of course, if she kisses you first, then that's a pretty good indicator that she likes you and she wants to take things further and you're not escalating quick enough. One time in Brazil, when we were walking down the street with her friends in front of me, and we've only been hanging out for like 15 minutes, she basically pulled me down and we started making out. Go to Brazil. Number 8, she leaves her friends to hang out with you. If she's not willing to leave her friends, even just to go a short distance, like grab a drink, or go to, meet your friends, or go dance with you, or go outside, or any type of move like that, then that means, how are you going to get her back to your place if she won't leave her friends? You could try to bring the whole group back to your place. That can work, but the point is, it's less likely. On the flip side, if she's totally willing to go, grab a drink, go dance with you, go outside, get some fresh air, that means she's more likely to leave her friends and go back to your place later. Now, the farther the distance away from her friends, the better a sign it is. If she'll just go 5 feet away from them, that doesn't really mean that much. But if she'll go to another room in the club or go somewhere where her friends can't keep an eye on her, because remember, women are always concerned about safety. That's why when they go out in packs like that, they're always like looking to see where each other are. But if her friends trust you and see you as a safe guy, a good guy, and she sees you that way too, and they're totally fine separating from the pack, then that's a good indicator. And of course, the best indicator would be that she's willing to leave the venue with you and leave her friends there and go to another venue. That means you can probably either take her home right then and there or a little bit later in the night. Number 7, she gets excited when you say something sexual. If her eyes light up at the word sex, then that's a pretty good indicator that she likes it. For example, if you ask her a direct question about sex, something even simple like, how comfortable are you with sexual topics? And she says, oh, I love talking about that. Ding, ding, ding. Good sign. On the flip side, if she says, well, it takes me a little while to feel comfortable talking about that, or, oh, I never talk about those kind of things, then it's not such a good sign. Or if you're a little bit more indirect, maybe you tell her about some experience that somebody else had. For example, one time I told a girl that my friend went to a sex party a few nights ago, like a swingers event, and she said, wow, really? I've always wanted to go to one of those. That's a pretty good indicator that she's very sexually adventurous, that she doesn't have a lot of hang-ups about sex. Now, with a girl like that, make sure to wrap it up. Number 6, she gives you the look of desire. You know what I'm talking about. Bedroom eyes, that sultry, seductive look where she definitely has something naughty on her mind. For example, she keeps looking at you even though you're not talking. The conversational thread has died, there's a pause in the conversation, but she keeps looking at your eyes. Or even better yet, she looks down at your lips for a second or two every once in a while, which is a very clear indicator that she wants you to kiss her. Don't miss that opportunity because remember, women will generally not make the move first unless they're totally wasted or something because it's just not in their nature. It's your job as a man to take initiative, push on the gas, and take things to the next level. So to help you do that, I created a free escalation cheat sheet that shows you exactly how to take things from a platonic, friendly vibe and turn things a lot more sexual and take things all the way to the bedroom. So there's a link for that down in the description. Get it, man, because it's absolutely free. And before I get into the top 5 signs that she wants to go home with you, make sure to subscribe to this channel because I have even better videos coming out really soon. And click that bell notification icon because I don't want you to miss out. Number 5, she asks you to go somewhere alone with her. Or even better yet, her friends leave, they go home, but she stays there alone with you.
Actually, my friends are leaving, but I would stay.
That's a really, really, really good indicator that she wants to go home with you. But even if she suggests like sitting down at the couch or going outside to get some fresh air, just the fact that she is comfortable being alone with you and wants to be alone with you and is comfortable leaving her friends to be with you is a very good sign that she'll go home with you. Side note, if a girl is drinking a lot, that's also an indicator that she wants to go home because she may be using alcohol as an excuse because women get judged if they go home with a guy, oftentimes by their friends or even by themselves, by society, etc. So she can just write it off by saying, oh, I was drunk, you know, it wasn't really me, it was the alcohol. But be careful, man. If she is a little beyond tipsy, I would steer away. I don't want you to get in trouble. It's usually not worth it. Plus, she might just pass out when she gets to your house, and that just sucks. What a tease. Number 4, she brings up sexual topics. If she brings up a sexual topic before you even bring it up, she's got sex on the brain. End of story. Let's move on to the next one.
Nothing to see here.
Yeah, seriously, if you are talking about the weather and how it's raining outside and she tells you how she one time had sex in the rain and it was amazing, then get the heck out of there. What are you still doing in the club?
Let's get out of here.
But most women aren't so overt about their sexual interest and their sexual fantasies, so what you want to do is give her an opportunity to bring it up. One way I like to do it is through the question game, and I have a video on YouTube that explains the question game. I'll put a link down in the description, but basically it's you and her going back and forth, asking each other questions with 3 rules. Rule number 1 is the questions have to be good, hint hint. Rule number 2 is no repeat questions, and rule number 3 is she goes first. And if her first question to you is sexual, like what's your favorite position or what's the last time you had sex or anything about sex, then again, you know she has sex on her mind. Number 3, she tests you. A lot of guys don't see this as an indicator that she wants to go home with the guy. They see it as something the opposite because she's poking fun at him or teasing him or just saying something that kind of throws him off his game.
I don't like your shoes.
And he sees it as a bad thing when really it's a good thing, and let me explain. You see, for women, going home with a guy is a scary thing. Men are bigger and stronger and can take advantage of a woman when they're alone together, so she needs a way to screen you and make sure that you're safe, and especially make sure that you're not easily affected, that your emotions don't control you, because if she changes her mind once she gets to your house and doesn't want to go all the way, and you get mad at her and kick her out, that's going to be an awful experience for her. Or you force her to do something that she doesn't want to do. She needs a way to know that you're not that type of guy. So she might say something like,
Are you a player?
or I bet you sleep with a lot of girls, don't you? And if you start getting mad about that, or even start getting nervous and you're just not comfortable, then she knows that you're easily affected and that you can't control your emotions and that you're easily knocked off course. Another example is maybe you're taking her back to your place and she says, okay, I'll go back, but no sex. First of all, that means she has sex on her brain. She's thinking about it. That's actually one of the best indicators if she says no sex. It means she's thinking about it and she wants you to think about it. But a lot of guys get emotionally affected. They say, wait, what do you mean? We're going back to my place. I mean, I thought it was implied. I mean, come on, I bought you all these drinks. And he gets angry or he gets sad or his emotions change in some way, indicating that he's not really the cool, strong, confident, grounded man that she thought he was. The key is just to be cool. It doesn't even matter what you say. You can say, okay, cool. Yeah, we can just hang out. Or I like to say, we won't do anything that you're not comfortable with. And actually mean it. At any time when she's back at your place making out, anytime she doesn't feel comfortable, let her know that you're not gonna make her feel uncomfortable and you're not gonna force her to do anything she doesn't wanna do. And that will almost always make her feel comfortable and then wanna take things all the way. Number two, she screens for your logistics. What I mean by that is she asks you questions to see if going home with you is a possibility. If you're at a bar or club, she might ask who you're there with, how long are you staying, where are you going later, how did you get there? An obvious question that means she wants to go home with you is where do you live? And even who do you live with?
By the way, where do you live?
Just like down the street.
Oh, wow.
If you tell her you live down the street, you know, you're walking distance away or 5-minute drive, then a little bell goes off in her brain, ding, 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 and she sees you as somebody that can satisfy her needs. But if you tell her you live 30 minutes away and she's looking to go home with someone, then she might dismiss herself and find somebody else with better logistics.
I won't go home with you.
For example, one time I was on a date with a girl and it was going so well. It was like 2 or 3 hours in, we were already making out, and there was so much sexual tension. It was awesome. And then she asked me where I'm staying because it was San Francisco and I was just visiting. And I told her I was staying at a hostel, and I just saw the disappointment in her eyes, and she ended the date soon after that. So, lesson learned. Don't stay at hostels. And number one, drum roll please, she overtly tells you her availability. For example, if she's there alone, maybe her friends already left and she wanted to stay to see if a guy could sweep her off her feet, and she tells you that she's alone within the first, few minutes of talking to her.
Oh, I'm just here by myself.
That's either a really good indicator or it means she's a hooker. By the way, don't assume she's a hooker, just ask her, are you working? And even if she gets kind of upset, like, what are you talking about? Are you saying I'm a hooker? You can say, oh, okay, yeah, maybe you're working at the bar. And then just change the subject. So also if she volunteers the information that she has no plans for later.
I don't have plans for tonight.
Or no plans for tomorrow. Or she tells you that she wants to stay out all night and she wants to party hard. Those are good indicators. Or if she's there with her friend and she tells you that,
we need to find someone for my friend.
Wink, wink, then that means she wants you and you need to find someone for her friend, and sometimes it's not that easy. For example, I was talking to 2 girls in LA and I was making out with one of them and I needed to find someone for the friend, and I asked her, hey, what kind of guys do you like? She pointed at somebody. I went over and talked to him. I said, hey, this girl I'm talking to, she really likes you. Let me introduce you. And they liked each other, they start making out, and then I said, hey man, we're gonna all go to my hotel room. Are you down? And he said, no, I can't leave. So I forgot to screen for his logistics because he was there with his brother or something and he didn't want to leave even though, this girl really liked him. So I basically had to kick him out of the group, which he didn't want to do because he's already making out with this girl, and eventually he left and I found somebody else on the way leaving the club, and I actually became really good friends with that guy, and he was cool and he, helped wing me. instant wingman. But what's most important is that you know how to escalate, because it's the man's job to make the move. So remember, to help you out, I created a free escalation cheat sheet that shows you exactly how to go from a platonic vibe to an I want to rip your clothes off vibe. This is very useful if you're talking to a girl but it's going nowhere. So download it now by clicking the link down in the description and also to the right of the screen. And make sure to subscribe to this channel for more dating tips and click that bell notification icon. And if you want me to personally mentor you and train you, give you feedback on your approaches, and help you escalate things to the next level, then check out our bootcamp schedule. My name's Matt Artisan from The Attractive Man, and I'll see you in the next video.